that recently a Noida-based woman, Asta Srivastav, social media when she announced, despite her strong academic record and work credentials, she failed to secure admission into the best management institutes in Bharat. So she directly blamed India's reservation policies for denying her a fair chance. Students from unreserved categories face disillusionment and despair. They put in years of effort, often at huge personal and financial costs, yet are left behind in the race. Namaskar, I welcome you all to the digital media of Uday India and myself Deepak Kumar Rath. Today in Bharatiya Taka Sankanad, I want to speak about something that recently, I will tell you a small example, that recently a Noida-based woman, Asta Srivastav, social media when she announced on LinkedIn that she was leaving India to pursue an MBA abroad. And imagine what would be the reason. Despite her strong academic record and work credentials, she failed to secure admission into the best management institutes in Bharat. So she directly blamed India's reservation policies for denying her a fair chance. Her post resonated with many, especially those who feel trapped in their vicious cycle of quotas and limited opportunities. And it also triggered heated debates, with some defending the affirmative action system as necessary for social justice, while others argued that it is increasingly hurting meritorious students, forcing India's brightest minds to seek opportunities abroad. The woman's story is not isolated. It reflects a larger trend. Every year lakhs of students spend years preparing for competitive exams like CAT, UPSC, NEET, JEE, only to face the bitter truth that their rank alone is not enough. The final selection often determined not by hard work or talent but by caste-based cutoffs and quotas. For a general category student, scoring 98 to 99 percentile is often still insufficient, while others may secure admission at far low scores due to reservation relaxations. This has created dual tragedy, in fact, for the students. First, students from unreserved categories face disillusionment and despair. They put in years of effort, often at huge personal and financial costs, yet are left behind in the race. Second, India as a nation loses our talent. The same students, when given opportunities abroad in universities in US, UK, Canada, or even Europe, they flourish without the burden of such structural barriers. They go on to contribute to foreign economies, research institutions, and corporations, while India bears the loss of its own human capital. So, Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh, reflecting after Operation Sindoor, recently put it bluntly. I will quote it. Now I start my quote. We are losing our brightest minds. Foreign nations respect them, empower them, and grow stronger with their brilliance. India must bring them back with opportunities and incentives. I unquote. His words underline the strategic dimensions of this brain drain. It is not just an educational issue, but a national strength issue. When India's best minds are building Silicon Valley instead of Bangalore, or innovating for NASA instead of ISRO, the country weakens itself. Critics of reservation argue that what started as a contemporary corrective measures to uplift marginalized communities has now become a political tool. extended indefinitely without re-evaluation. So instead of being based on economic disadvantage, reservations continue to be anchored on caste, which in urban and professional spaces often feels detached from ground realities. The middle class general category youth, many of whom are not economically privileged, find themselves caught in a trap, denied both financial aid and institutional access. On the other hand, defenders of the system point out that deep inequalities still exist in rural and semi-urban India. Generations of discrimination cannot be erased in few decades, they argue, and affirmative action remains necessary. However, even they admit that the system needs reform, perhaps by shifting towards economic criteria or by setting sunset clauses that prevent permanent dependency. I will again remind that this woman's LinkedIn post symbolizes the frustration of an entire generation. It is not merely about one MBA seat or medical seat or UPSC. It is about the perception that India does not reward merit fairly. And when a country repeatedly sends this message to its young and talented citizens, they start looking for doors elsewhere. This is sad reality of India today. Instead of retaining its best minds, it is driving them away. Instead of reforming policies to balance social justice with meritocracy, it continues to cling the outdated systems for political gain. The debate sparked by her post must not remain confined to social media outrage. It should compel policymakers to ask difficult questions. Is the current system truly serving nation's future? Can India afford to keep exporting its talent? Unless these questions are addressed, more young Indians will walk the same path as the woman from Noida, leaving behind their homeland not out of choice but out of compulsion. This is a grave situation. That is why I told that the policymakers, the thinkers of this country, they must give a thought to it. That's all for today. Stay tuned with Uday India and subscribe to Uday India. Thank you.